Hello everyone, friends, Mozart here. So, Bitcoin is right now approaching the point of my long position. This is $58,700, the lower point of accumulation, meaning the test of $59,000 is already happening. $5,000 and breaking even on Ethereum. Yesterday, this was the right decision because today Ethereum is already approaching a new entry point. Not as close as Bitcoin, but nevertheless 2,755. So, what does this mean overall? Where should the stop be placed for this position? Well, I take such trades in Bitcoin and Ethereum without a stop loss and then exit manually when I see that something is going wrong. So, most likely, I will close somewhere in case of, well, I mean if there is a consolidation. Below this level, probably below $55,000 to $54,000. Why so? Because here we have the upper boundary. Sorry, the lower boundary of this global descending channel, which is extremely undesirable to break. We are now exiting a more local white channel, and theoretically, yes, it is possible to descend here. Although at 58,700 this level is quite strong. I place my last limit order on it. Looking at the current situation in the market, yes, it is quite likely that Bitcoin will close the gap on the CME exchange that was formed some time ago, which is around 57,800, to approximately $58,000 recently. Bitcoin wants to go there, and the drop is quite significant. It held on quite well, and then it plummeted. Just literally a week ago, when I was recording the review, the situation looked much better, and such a sharp decline, of course, became the result of numerous factors that emerged during this week. That is probably the most important. One of the most important, yes, is the anticipation of Iran's retaliation, which has not happened yet. And by the way, the Wall Street Journal writes that Iran rejects calls for restraint and allegedly doesn't care whether a war starts or not. Official representatives of America are talking to them through Qatar. They said there will still be a response. We will respond seriously. Something flew there last night, but it was nothing compared to what is really expected. Plus, Genesis trading suddenly, which no one expected at all, started distributing debts from the bankruptcy. That is, this is approximately a total of Bitcoin and Ethereum worth $2 billion. So, for the market, this was another blow after the German government, transfers from Silk Road, the USA, MT Gox of course, and now Genesis has been added, and on top of that, the American economy is starting to decline. The ISM manufacturing index is indeed dropping very significantly as well. For the fourth consecutive month, the economy is contracting, with the ISM below 50. Against this backdrop, the entire stock market plummeted. All of this somehow affected Bitcoin, and it couldn't hold its ground. Unfortunately, that is indeed the case. But again, I had set two pending orders for this scenario, so it could be manageable. Additionally, last week, there was a significant candle, a strong enough signal for continued growth, which we absorbed completely, more than 100%, almost 200% on all these events. And beyond that, I cannot say what will happen. So now we need to watch the reaction at the very last level, which is holding the situation from becoming very bad, probably. 58 to 758, where my last limit order is placed. So if we break it down and don't quickly return back, well, that could be quite unfortunate. Then it could be really unfortunate, and most likely the price will go to 55, retest 53, and close this gap at around $50,000. That means returning to the yearly moving average, which is something we really don't want. But I'm telling it like it is right now, speaking about Bitcoin. If we hold here and return back, then We need to do this on something and very quickly. Somehow like this, test the average, consolidate, and return like this. Preferably above the two SMAs and the moving average, most importantly. We lost it again, which is really bad. This is what I dislike the most. At least return here to 62, maybe even a bit higher. And then we can return here. That would be a positive scenario. But for now, there is no buyback. It is not visible. This buyback is not visible, although there will also be a gap here, by the way, on the CME. It is quite likely that at least we will close that one too. For now, it is not present, so the forecast is neutral. Currently, my forecast is already neutral. We also need to see how Fonda will feel next week, because it's really tough. And the bad thing is that the situation with Iran remains unresolved. I really don't like this. God forbid something starts there. And then there are those American destroyers. But for now, again, what we have is shown by the price. So far, everything is relevant. So, basically, one limit order for now. The second one is to reach 100% of the desired long position volume. We will see how it goes. For Ethereum, I have set two new points. Yesterday it reached 0, 2755, 2511. 2511 is if Bitcoin goes to 55 or 53. Ethereum will likely return to this level. But the sideways market is really long and exhausting. As for altcoins, it's really tough here. Also, a week ago I suggested that this pattern in case of a negative outcome would go to 560. So here it is. And it was at a minimum of 560. Here it is. It reached 560, with a margin even for continuation. Here it came. Worked 100%. If we look more closely at total 3, we are returning to the lower boundary. What kind of channel do we have here? It's quite a strong channel. Yes, global orange. It was built last year. And the next level, yes, as I mentioned a week ago, if 560 doesn't hold, it could be 520. That is, the monthly S4N, the retest of the annual moving average. It could be considering this movement, although this steep drop won't go without a correction. For this reason, the medium-term trades, in which I am also stuck, specifically the medium-term longs. I will just cancel the stops there, because it can't fall endlessly without a correction. In other words, there hasn't been any normal correction here yet. Let's see. In any case, there will be a strong rebound, and I will make a decision then. But 520 is still looming. It's possible. We might touch 520 again, although the gap is quite significant. And for total 3, for alt overall, in addition, the flow of liquidations is very serious. Let's look at the section, and it happens over the weekend. Usually, liquidations happen quickly. If we take them like this, then here it happened, here it happened, here it happened, and there it happened, and that's all. And then the market continues some movement here. There is a continuous liquidation phase, meaning the price just keeps falling, just like that. And these gaps are formed, which will be very easy to fill back in. Well, on any slightest positive news. For example, if someone writes that the Fed might not go on vacation now and decides to lower the rate without waiting for September, based on what has started happening in the stock market, that's it will immediately skyrocket. Harris will soon meet with representatives of the crypto industry on Fox News. Well, she will say something good along with Trump. Everything will shoot back up. That is to say, it's a delicate moment right now, where I don't see much point in making predictions. Not much point. It's purely technicals at work here. Purely technicals. A technical analysis shows that this is the last chance for a long position. That's why these two limit orders are placed here. We'll see what happens next. If we go lower, it will certainly be much harder to get out of there. Or now, it is still possible. Plus, we have a gap around the 200 moving average. Let's see what happens with it. But in any case, all current trades are in my Telegram channel, and the link to it is in the description below this video. Everything I do, mainly right now, I trade and provide trading ideas specifically for Bitcoin and Ethereum. All altcoins are in the trading channel, where we mostly short. The main position is short, for obvious reasons. And if you don't want to miss this, be the first to get it by subscribing to the Telegram channel, because here I just share a bit more of my thoughts than usual. What I usually give in Telegram is a signal. Simple, straightforward. That's it. Alright. Well, I guess I've said everything I wanted to say. There's nothing more to add right now. But it has become much harder, and if we could at least remove Iran from this equation, we could be more optimistic. But the market remembers April 12th, 13, and 14 very well, when rockets were launched from Iran, and it will be afraid of this, of course. In the event of an actual attack, another drop is quite likely. I don't know if there will be a quick recovery or not, but the market will be expecting this and factoring it into the price. Thank you all. This was Mozart. I am not worried about medium-term longs, as we have gone through this more than once. Everything will be fine here. We just need to be patient, and where necessary, I simply add more margin. That's it. All the entry points I provided are still relevant. The additional positions, whether they have been executed or not, are all still relevant. Nothing else changes for them, and therefore they are not medium term. For me, medium term essentially means up to 1.5 years. Standard timing. Short-term positions are short, but I have written about this as well. That's all. Thank you, everyone. We'll see what happens next week. Goodbye, everyone.